Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
a red wine from France.
Yes, we are a red wine from France, something unique and new that we've never done before, but that's okay because once again, I'm joined by two of the most marvelous people that I know in my life. Joel, Colin, how are you guys?
They have a lot of red wine in France. There's a reason we go back there a lot.
It's very
We do a lot of it.
especially out of this region. We might have been here once or twice before.
Look, I snark and yet I love it. It's fine. It's what they do. It's what they do. And that's great. I'm excited about it. How are you guys?
Good, man.
Doing good.
Real
Yeah.
good. How are you?
Yeah.
You got your flannel on? I love
Yeah.
it. Is it cold up there?
Yeah. It's quite it's chilly. It's chilly outside. I gotta be honest with you, my Christmas lights are still up. They are not
What?
on. They
Listener.
don't turn on. They don't turn on, but they are up because it's been too cold, too icy, and too snowy for me to go up
Okay.
a ladder or climb
That's
onto
fair.
my roof to
Totally
take
fair.
them down.
100% with you. I was going to give you a
Yeah.
lot of shit for that, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing that
Understandably.
in the cold either. Yeah.
No, and
Well,
I'm actually very lucky. I can climb onto my porch roof to take down the lights, and I looked out the other day, and it was just ice. And I was like, I don't
Oh.
want to die today. I don't want to die
No.
today.
that's fair. Yeah. Well, my Christmas light setup consists of those lights that come in like a net you throw over your bush. So
Oh, I love those.
that is completely it, though. I don't have any
Sharp
lights
look.
on my house.
The sharp
so
look.
No, we are gaudy. We do we are the family vacation Christmas, like lights, like people walk by our house and take pictures. It's a point of pride, and there's a lot of them, and they're hard to take down. But it's cold. It's cold here, guys. It is windy and cold, and it's a time of year now where
Yeah.
there's just nothing good to come from it.
Yeah.
Put a light jacket on today.
Yeah.
I hate you.
I'm wearing an athletic dry fit sweater today because it was a little nippy in the house. We had the AC
Yeah,
cranked
but
pretty hard
Yeah,
today.
little
So.
bit. A little bit.
The trade-off is you have to live in Florida. So
Yeah,
like
well,
that's
Fair. Fair.
it's you
Hey,
get the good with the bad.
You always have that to fall back on. And I don't know if you realize how big of a chip that is to always have in your corner. That's
It just is. Wait, I don't mean to. I mean, I loved living there for a while.
Orlando is great.
It is.
place to be.
It's a
Outside of
magical
that, it
place.
gets a little weird, but yeah.
It's like it's quite the diverse state in the broadest sense. Just you got a lot going on down there.
Yeah.
that is true.
Yeah. All right. So
Move it out.
So, I mean, we got a great episode ahead of us. We are excited because we're going to introduce a brand new segment. Joel is stepping up to the mic, just
And,
launching us
wait.
into a new era of Stop Wasting Your Wine, led by Joel Ladniski. We're going to talk about this wine that Colin's going to tell us about in just a second. And we're going to do a real quick game, Pick Your Poison. So, it's exciting day ahead of us today. But before we get into all that, Colin, what are we drinking today?
Yes, so we are drinking a red wine from France. We are in Bordeaux. This is from the producer Lamothe-Vincent. This is the 2022 Reserve Bordeaux. It is 80% Merlot, 12% Cabernet Franc, and 8% Cabernet Sauvignon. It is 14.5 ABV, and we got this for total wine at a shockingly low $12.
Oh, wait, sorry, what was that number?
$12.
$12, which
What-
I'm excited to hear why you picked this because $12 Bordeaux definitely not on my radar.
I don't think it's on anybody's radar.
Does $12 Bordeaux exist? Like, what are we doing here?
You're about to drink it, my friend. It exists. Yeah. And this is, I don't want to get too far into my segment here, but boy, there's a lot to discuss here about this. Yeah.
Love that.
Okay.
The blend's super cool too. 80% Merlot, 12% Cab Franc, and 8% Cab Sauv, I mean, I
Mhm.
love me some Cab Franc, so I hope that that plays a big role. And,
Yeah.
Merlot is actually the dominant grape over there. People think
Mhm.
often that you think Bordeaux, you think Cab Sauv, but it's actually Merlot is
Mm.
the most widely planted grape. So
Mhm.
not surprising to see, but cool that we're checking it out.
Yeah.
Yowza. I mean, I am baffled. I am shocked. I am maybe even tickled here. Like, I don't even know. This is $12. All right.
Yeah.
So, Joel,
Hey, how much was that Vino Verde that we talk about a lot? That was incredibly
$6.
cheap. Oh,
Like
okay.
$6,
So
yeah.
we're double that, guys.
6 to 8. So it's twice as good. No, I mean that was 6 to 8, and we
Yeah.
didn't joke about, but we learned that it is a white wine that was pretty decent, but from a relatively unknown region, and because of that, they're producing wines for a very low cost because of low demands. This is Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Like, this is a red wine from Bordeaux.
Yep.
Joel, why are we drinking a $12 red wine from Bordeaux, Joel? What did you do?
All right. So let me tell you why we're drinking this. Guys, Bordeaux is the entire region of Bordeaux is on sale right now. Okay. And don't take this to mean that everything coming from Bordeaux is going to be very cheap, but do take this to mean that there is some incredible value coming from Bordeaux right now. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that when we get into my segment. But why I picked this one specifically, I did kind of the old Joel maneuver. Okay. I
Oh,
sorted by
he
ranking.
did a Joel again. He pulled a
I
Joel.
pulled a Joel. Thing that's crazy though. I did my ranking and I started going from the top. I ranked by expert ratings and started going down till I saw, reasonable value. And I was looking through and I was getting to, it was 200, 300, and then I'd have a 79 pop up. And I was like, okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. I kept scrolling. I had a 62 pop up, kept scrolling a little bit. And amongst the $100 Bordeaux's popped up this $12 Bordeaux ranked from decanter. And again, my disclaimer, I will always say we don't we think the rating systems are weird. We don't buy into them very much, but I do think it's interesting when you have a cross section of a $12 bottle of Bordeaux with a 95-point decanter sticker. I could not pass it up.
95. That's a lot of
Wild.
points.
It's pretty crazy.
On a scale from 1 to 1,000?
I know, right? I mean, you would think so, but yeah, this is it's crazy. So I saw a 95 pointer, $12. Thought this is something we need to try. So that's why we're doing this one.
Let's do it.
Damn.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I mean, I feel like we got to get into it then. So let's
Yep.
get our first impressions. Gentlemen, what are you getting on the nose? Colin, I'm going to toss it to you first, since this is Joel's wine.
Tastes like wine.
Yep. Getting some a little mix of dark fruit and red fruit. Getting a little strawberry, but also maybe a little bit of darker plum. I wouldn't necessarily call it red plum, but maybe a little bit of that darker plum. And then
I like
maybe,
that.
I don't want to take all the words, but I'll say one more fruit. Again, maybe a little bit of like cherry. And I don't know what category, whether it's red or darker, to put it in, but definitely a little bit of cherry.
What about you, Joel?
I think to answer that question, dark. Like to me, it's everything is
Hmm.
dark.
I mean, I'm there, 100%.
Yeah. A word that popped into my head too at first was raisin. Like it's to me it's fruit that's been around a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
that's
it's
fair.
not fresh
I don't hate that.
young, right? Aaron?
I mean, you guys know me. Like, I don't have often the specific, like, this reminds me of this, but I do have the connections to other things that we've done in the
Sure.
past. And the two things that are popping in my head is I remember when Anthony came on the show and he was like, this tastes like black currant. No one can tell you what that is, but like they
That's
know
right.
that taste.
You could use
And
that
like
here.
this, like it's like that. It's like this. This is the thing. Like, this is the one. And on top of that, it smells like Merlot. Like, it's just like there's that overarching, again, like I know there's specific fruits and whatnot that go into that, but this has such like a it's 80%, but it's like this is a Merlot. Like it just has that smell to it.
Anybody else picking up on a little oak? Maybe it's
Mhm.
definitely not one of
Mhm.
the major flavors, but a little bit of maybe vanilla on the back end.
Yeah, I like that call. I like that call. And alcohol.
Yes, you
Right?
can absolutely
Yeah.
smell the alcohol in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying my best to keep it together as the cough from the sniff is rising through the throat, but no,
Yeah.
it's pretty intense, the alcohol. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about that.
I tell you what, I've been getting over a little cold here, passed on to me by the kiddo,
Yeah.
and this
And
is
you're
Clearing
done.
everything up.
I'm breathing
That's it.
fine right now. I'll tell you that much.
Woo! And mind
I
you, this is
believe it.
a 14.5% alcohol. This is, I believe we had a 15%er at one time, I think. So this is high and just a high alcohol level red wine. So if that is not balanced into the structure and the overarching balance of the wine, it can do a lot of damage. All right, let's give it a taste. Colin, back to you, sir. What are you getting?
Sure. Yeah, I definitely think you get some of those. I think strawberry. You get. I think the mixture of fruit is there. I like what Joel said. It's definitely not fresh fruit by any stretch of the imagination. It's pretty intensely. It's not
Jammy.
quite. Yeah, it's a little jammy for sure. The other thing I'll say, even though the fruit's jammy, it kind of like fades pretty quick as far as the flavor is concerned. It doesn't
Yeah.
stick around for too long. You get a lot of it up front, and then it kind of trails off. Um, I don't know. What do you guys think?
That's the most shocking thing to me, especially when we were smelling it. Like it seemed like it was going to be very like super in your face, super bold, and
Mhm.
when drinking it, like a lot of what we called out, 100%, I think we nailed it, but it's not oppressive. Like it comes and it goes. I'm trying to decide if it goes a little too quickly or if it's just right. I'm not really sure, but it is interesting how fast, it's a little thinner than I thought it was going to be.
I think I'm focusing more on the structure at this point because the flavors there at first, like you just said, like you got that big jammy taste and then it thins out. But the tannins, like the structure of this, the grippiness, this is like tannic plus. Like my mouth is in a vice right now. It is nuts. And is that not a thing?
I don't think I'm not getting that much tannin, but I love that
No,
you are
yeah.
in a vice over there. Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know. I swished it around and my tongue like gave up on me. It's like, what are you doing? Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm getting super high tans on this, and then a lot of body, really dry. Just overall, just like a really well balanced, I think, deep red. I will say, surprisingly, based on what we said, based on the smell, the alcohol is there, but not as overbearing as
I do
I
agree.
thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Based on the whiff that we got coming out of the bottle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For sure. Yeah, I might disagree with how tanniny, like just I'm
Yeah.
not experiencing it as intensely as you are. It's
Maybe I have a more
definitely
sensitive tongue than you.
not
There's
gonna
a
respond
lot
to
of
that.
ways Colin could go with that, and he's choosing to keep it above board, and I respect that. This is a family show here.
Yeah, that's right.
Family
That's right.
show, guys. My mom listens to
Not a
this
family
show.
show.
Let's keep it above board.
Number one fan.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, nice acidity, I think. Surprisingly, not as much body. It's a little thin for me overall. I was
Mhm.
expecting a little more body at 14.5%, but it doesn't, for me anyway, give that ultra heavy, weighty feel that
Yeah.
I was expecting. And then just back to the flavor notes a little bit, you get some of that oak, but it's almost all the way on the very back. It's like the
Mhm.
last thing that hits you on the way out. It's definitely not, there's definitely fruit forward wine by like a lot.
Yeah, to me, it's like the experience is everything is super medium in my opinion, and then a little hint of the tobacco for some reason is what hits me at the end. That's the oak influence that I'm picking up on the most towards the end is that like a little tobacco-iness. Not saying I don't like it, but it's an interesting thing there.
Yeah, don't hate
All
that.
right, two things. One, maybe someone's trying to kill me and they've done something to my bottle. I don't know how you guys are like, this
I
is
don't think
medium
so.
tannin. Like my face is dying. This is wild. I don't hate it. It's
Aaron,
just
we've had
super grippy.
tannin bombs on this show
This is a tannin bomb.
that you call out rightfully.
Oh, tannin bomb.
The Royal Tannenbaums. And it's funny because this this to me is maybe halfway to where like some of the big tanniny things that we've had. So I love that you're having that experience. I'm not at all. Like that's to me, I can't tell if it's more acidic or more tanniny, to be honest with you. Like they're both just right in the middle of the dial.
I would say
right.
medium plus on the tannin, honestly. And then maybe
I'll take it. You give me a little plus sign there. I'll take the plus sign.
Okay. All right, sure.
Thank you for validating my feelings. No, but so the other thing, the thing that I care more about is I keep calling it jammy, but I think there's something else there that maybe we're not naming, and like maybe it's like this juiciness or fruitiness. Like I don't know. There's something very unique to the flavor of this that is different to me than a lot of big bold reds that we've had. What would you gentlemen name as like that number one flavor piece that's sticking out to this one?
I think we've kind of called them out. Maybe is it maybe the fact that I'm gonna throw something out there, expecting it to be like super punchy, and it's as we drink it actually just like a very nice, approachable experience. Do you think that's what it is?
There's a very specific flavor sitting when I drink it that feels very different, and I don't know what it is. And maybe it's, I don't know. I don't know. There's just something that feels very unique and different to me, and I'm having a really hard time putting my finger on it.
I think I'm kind of with Joel on this one. I wish I knew what you were experiencing so I could help you out, but it seems pretty straightforward in my opinion.
Wow. Okay. All right. Fine.
But I love that adventure for you, Aaron.
Yeah,
Here,
that's what wine's all about.
Walking alongside of you. Yes.
Thank you for honoring my journey.
Always. I will always honor your journey.
All right, fine. All right, cool. I mean, the neat thing about this is like no one is saying anything hyper contradictory to me. Like it's like bad or good or whatever. It's just like the different experience of the flavors, especially when you're like me and you have the vocabulary of a 12-year-old when it comes to naming flavors. So let's keep it moving and see how we do. So Joel,
yes,
we have been hyping you up.
Yeah,
we have been just excited. It's like it's your opportunity. This is it. This is your moment. Why is this Bordeaux $12?
Okay,
is there a bigger picture here?
Yeah,
what's happening?
We interrupt this programming to bring you Wine News with Joel.
Guys, there's a crisis in Bordeaux. And this is a real thing right here, guys. There's a little bit of a crisis in I won't say all, but the majority of wine making regions, including in the United States. It's affecting our friends in Napa and Sonoma. But there's a bit of a crisis that's really, really interesting in making some really value driven wines available for us here in the States coming out of Bordeaux. So even when signs of slowing down in drinking were pretty prevalent, okay? So as an example, in the early 1950s, the average French person was drinking 150 liters of wine a year. Today, the average French person...
Wait, what?
Yeah, do you want to think about that for a second?
Wait, how much?
Yeah.
Can we convert that? Because I don't like.
Yeah, this is America.
Like
okay. Research department.
How many gallons is that?
Let me do 150 liters to gallons. So that would be about 40 gallons of wine a year. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
That's a lot of wine.
Let me put it this way. There's 365 days in a year, 150 liters, just under half a liter of wine a day. Okay. And that was that was in the early 1950s. Today, 40 liters of wine a day or a year. Okay. 40 liters of wine a year. So And this is not a statistic that is only happening in France. This is kind of across the board. I think it's a little bit of why we started this show is, we noticed that people kind of our age weren't, maybe jumping into the wine world, felt a little hesitation to do so, didn't know how to get involved. So we started trying to do this to make it a little bit more approachable. So anyway, I digress. Yep.
Well, I think that just makes so much sense when you think about it for a second, and you just think about what is marketable and what is sold in a time period. Is because when I think about like how much people drink, nothing in my brain is like people should drink less today than they did 70 years ago. Generally, you think people drink more. However, there aren't big brands of bourbon, or vodka or gin that are readily available and being sold in the 1950s. There isn't beer being sold in the mass production that it is today. So but wine is always prevalent and available. And so it makes sense that with greater competition in the modern era, like people are going to move away from wine.
Yeah.
And it's just weird. I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah, do you know what's surprising to me too is, like, you always think of European countries as wine being such an important part of their culture. So, like, 150 liters kind of makes sense. Like, honestly, that's as an American, I feel like they just have wine all the time.
Sure.
So the reduction
You have
to
a
me,
glass or
I
two of
think,
wine
is
with dinner, right?
yeah, is the most shocking thing that they're just
Yeah.
not drinking as much as I thought they might have or should be, just based on kind of the conversation around wine in Europe.
Yeah, it's 100%. But when you take a clear-sighted look at the trends over the last couple of decades, it becomes pretty clear that things were slowing down from a consumption perspective. An interesting little thing is it almost seemed like the message was kind of becoming clear and people were stopping the planting. But then a little thing called COVID-19 occurred in 2019 and caused a temporary little bump to
2020, baby.
Yeah, it caused a temporary little bump to consumption rates. And this was a time where almost the message was getting across. Growers were starting to hold on planting, rethink how they were using their land a little bit, but it gave them just enough influence to continue to plant. So this is a problem that was continuing to go for a long time, so much to the point where right now, just within the last year, the government of France has agreed to subsidize the removal, the unplanting of old vines, and is essentially forcing growers to remove something like 20 to 40% of their plantings. So it's not each individual, but across the growers of the country, it needs to be reduced by about 20, 40%. Okay. And the government is actually subsidizing this for growers.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But to what end? Like, what is the government trying to do? They're trying to protect the price of the bottle, or what are they trying to do?
I'm so glad you asked. Historically, the government of France has purchased excess wine in an attempt to keep the price of wine stable globally. Okay. So they've been essentially eating that cost to keep things somewhat stable. They've decided that's not sustainable. We have to stop the production. There is one other country, and this is a question for you guys. One other region, I'll give you a little hint, say it's another country that has actually tested this model of removing plantings and having a complete renaissance of the wine and the reputation of their wine globally. Do you know who this might be? And I'll give you a little bit more information. They were, known for having wine. At some point it was like, oh, this is all kind of crappy wine. And then just in like the last decade have really popped as a place to get really good quality wine, at least for one varietal. Who do you think that is?
I'm going to let Aaron go first because I'm pretty sure during my research I came across this. No cheating, Aaron.
Not typing. Germany?
A fine guess, but not the answer. Colin?
New Zealand.
Exactly. Yes. So
I was close.
You were very close. Very close. I think they
Yeah,
eat
yeah.
kiwis in Germany. I'm not really sure.
A lot
But
of people say Germany and New Zealand are just, similar
absolutely.
cousins even.
That's what they say. So exactly the same thing that happened in New Zealand at one point. They were growing all of this wine. It became a little saturated. They decided to pull back. And what ended up happening was that these cheap, crappy Australian wines started dominating the market. And then it allowed the New Zealand growers to focus on quality growing and quality wines. And what happened was the reputation of good wine coming from New Zealand got out, and they started selling good wine at reasonable prices. That's exactly what the country of France is trying to do with these measures to make people pull back. So, same situation. I mean, you would be surprised at how much even places like Bordeaux are overrun by big volume, high value, I'm using air quotes, listener, growing. So they're trying to basically, when they're pulling these grapes out, it's forcing growers to focus on good quality grapes and making good wine again, and not just saturating the market with bad Bordeaux. So all of that to say, that fun, crazy journey about the happenings of wine in France over the last couple of decades is to tell you, Aaron and Colin, and also you, listener, experience Bordeaux. Get in there right now. Start trying cool Bordeaux's. You will find incredible value and really good wine coming out of Bordeaux as they're going through this transformation, and it's happening in real time, and we are the beneficiaries, at least for now.
Super, super interesting. But like, what is the reason that the wine is coming to us inexpensively? Is it that they're trying to they produce too much and they're just trying to offload it for less?
So the country of France is no longer planning to buy any of the excess stock. So it's all going to be on the growers and on the vineyards to make a product that sells,
Push it out.
that's quality enough to sell in, globally, to sell to the US and to sell to Germany. So it's a little bit of pushing the responsibility back on the growers to make a product that sells. And until it catches up, we're going to reap the benefits of some good value from the region.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Bordeaux's always made a ton of wine. Like, this isn't like a new thing. Bordeaux's kind of always been, especially with imports, kind of been, you can step on some landmines because there's just so much wine coming out of Bordeaux. It's hard to tell, especially if the chateau isn't necessarily well known, what's going to be good and what's not going to be good. I mean, it's a huge region. So it's super interesting that it's actually, they're focusing a little bit more on quality and not just pumping wine out. I also think it's interesting they're doing this in other places. California is kind of undergoing the same thing right now. They're trying to, in the lower quality grape producing regions, trying to get farmers to rip up a lot of their plantings. Now, the difference here is the U.S. government is not doing anything to help those farmers out. So it's totally on them to plant a new crop, which is it's not going over that well, to be honest. They're not meeting their goals because the cost to do that is astronomical, or can be astronomical. So, it's cool that in France they're really focusing on that quality and helping those growers get to that.
Well, I'll tell you what's interesting is it's a bit unprecedented, because until I think about 2008, it was actually against the law for the government to subsidize such a thing. 2008, they tried it and they made this mandate, and most of the growers said, oh, sure, yeah, we'll pull up 20-30% of our vines, and didn't do it, further propelling them into this situation that they find themselves in today. So yeah, no, it's an interesting little case study there.
Wow, that was really cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, Joel, thank you so much. Like, really, when we think about France and we think about some of these classic regions, you don't think about the aspects of like economics and supply and demand working negatively against them. You just assume that Champagne and Bordeaux and Burgundy and whatever is going to just do well. So this is a very interesting lens, a very interesting take on what's going on there. And if that results in us getting $12 bottles of Bordeaux, then, so be it for now.
Get it while it's hot.
All right. Thank you, Joel. Hopefully first of many wine news with Joel segments.
Yes.
Super interesting, super informative. Let's get back into this wine. So I feel like sometimes we go back to the wine after 20 minutes or so and we're like, has anything changed? And the answer is no.
Yeah, these tannins are fucking kicking my ass.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
No, I'm joking.
I knew it. You're lying. God damn it. Anything new, gentlemen, coming at you?
It's definitely opened up.
Yeah.
I will say it's just
softer.
It's gotten softer, and the fruit, I would say, has really come forward. It was super tight when we first started drinking it. But now it's really blossomed. The flavor profile, at least, it's really more intense than it was before.
Joel?
I think intense, and I was going to say, like, this might not make any sense, but I don't know if this equates to complexity, but the pieces that we called out are more recognizable to me. Like each bit has kind of taken its own place in there. So like I'm not really picking out any additional flavors, but it's so much easier for me right now to find each individual piece and see how they kind of come together, which I think is really interesting. And I think, you just said too, softer. I think it's just the entire experience is a little bit softer. It's a little bit more not pleasant, because I don't think it was unpleasant to begin with, but it's a little smoother.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on that. And I need to go get a steak. Like it's just there's the way, the way that this is just opening up and these flavors. Like I need to go get a steak and some mashed potatoes right now to go along with the general flavor profile of this wine.
Like some garlic mashed potatoes or some truffle mashed potatoes with this.
Oh yeah. I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is really opening up into a wine that you want to pair with food, with, I would say, with meat specifically. Just really,
absolutely,
it's going to work out for you.
No doubt.
All right. So for those of you that might not have joined us over the last episode or so, we're switching things up a little bit. We are going to jump right into the review now, and then, we'll end with a little bit of fun. So this was Joel's wine.
Yes.
Thank you, Joel, for bringing this to us. So we're going to start off. Colin, how are you feeling about this wine?
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
Yeah, I think this, to me, is a great casual drink in Bordeaux. It's not structurally overpowering. I think there's some really nice fruit flavors in there, a little bit of oak. It's not overly complex, so I don't think it's going to turn away anybody who wants something that's going to be a little more drinkable. So yeah, I think this is a casual drinker, something that I just like. If I wanted just like an easy drink in Bordeaux, I don't know if it gets much more easy drinking than this. I mean, this is really, I think for $12, the value and what you're able to get out of it is gonna make me want to just have this around because it's $12. So yeah, this casual drinker, it's tasty. It's well balanced. It's not gonna blow you away either. But I'm enjoying drinking it. So casual drinker, 100%.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Colin. But in kind of a weird way of, I think quality wise, I'm putting it in that casual drinker category of, this is a bottle I'll grab. In fact, when we picked this up today, I grabbed 2 anyways before we even reviewed it, because I was like, it's $12. This is what's the worst that could happen, right? And I am happy to have this in my home and drink it just around the house. Part of my brain kind of wants me to put it in the must share category, only because I think it is enjoyable and unique, and being from Bordeaux, it can lead into the conversation that Joel has started us on, talking about this is this region that you usually equate with really high quality, generally more expensive than not wine, and here's a $12 bottle. But I think it stays in that casual drinker category because of, I don't know, just where it lands enjoyability wise. But I think there's an argument to be made that it is a fun bottle to grab and to share with others, just from the story and from the region.
That little part of your brain that wanted to put it into the must share category, that's like
you live
all
there?
of my brain. Yeah, 100%. I want to walk around and like pour this into people's glasses completely without them asking me and be like, this is a $12 bottle of wine, and have them drink it and watch them drink it and be like, bullshit. And I'll be like, no, this is $12. Like, this is really good. This is a $12 bottle of wine, guys. You can't get a number 6 and a Diet Coke at Wendy's for $12 anymore. This is a $12
I love a number 6.
bottle.
It's my favorite one.
I know, the spicy chicken sandwich.
Me
Come
too.
on,
It's
so
so
good.
Get rid of the lettuce and tomato and put cheese and bacon. It's a game changer.
No. Keep the lettuce, tomato. Get rid of the mayo. You're in good shape.
As it
Now we
comes, baby.
disagree again.
A purist. I like that. Okay. Anyway, regardless of how you take your spicy chicken sandwich at Wendy's, it is
a spicy chicken sandwich though. That is the one.
That's so good. Mind blowing to me for $12. And yeah, no, this is a must share, not just because it's my wine, not just because of the incredible facts that I shared with you guys, but because I think it's something I would like to show off and share this with people and make sure that I'm making people aware that there's really good quality wine at this price point from one of the most renowned wine regions in the world.
You're making a really good argument, Joel. Like
Thank you.
I really think in my brain it's oscillating between the two. Like I can imagine, again, having people over and just leaving this bottle on the table and having someone ask about it and be like, wow, this is a really tasty bottle of wine, and me looking at them being like, tell me how much you think that costs.
Yeah, I think they would guess $30. I think they would say this is a $30, $30 bottle of wine. You don't think so?
You're an avid drinker. No.
All right.
Does it drink above 12? Yes. Is it 30? Nah.
What? Give me a.
It's punching above its weight.
Give me a number.
I would think
1843.
I was going to say 18. Not that specific, but 18 to 20, I think, is fair for this.
So much.
So yeah, it's a good value. I'm not saying it's not.
But then we get into, and I think this is the thing that slowed me down in my thinking, and not to go down a rabbit hole, but when I think about some of the other wines that we've absolutely loved and put in our wine fridges, the Igugao, the Château de Tout, the St. Giorgio Chianti, like those were all in the $15 to $20 range, and we were all like must share and or wine fridge, and that's in that price range. So that's my only hesitation.
That's fair.
No,
I get that.
I don't disagree with Joel's argument, but at the same time, it's not overly complex. There's nothing that's like outrageous about this wine. It's really tasty. And I'm enjoying it, but the quality is probably, it's good, but it's not outstanding.
$12.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not arguing the value. I'm not arguing the value.
I'm arguing the wine. It's not a waste of your wine, right? Like, last week we had a debate. This is not a waste of your wine.
No, try this one for sure.
It's a good grab. It's $12. Grab 2 of them. Like, keep them in your house. It's fine. I think the debate is, are you bringing this with you to a BYOB restaurant? Are you paying a corking fee to drink this with a steak dinner? And I would say no.
Well, yeah, the corkage fee will be about the price of the bottle, which is insane, and another reason why you should be enjoying this.
Nobody's not enjoying it, Joel. No, nobody's not enjoying it. Everybody's enjoying
this. I'm gonna pull it back. I'm sorry.
No. It is an enjoyable bottle of wine, and I think it is living in the space that a $12 bottle of wine should live. It is punching above its weight, but it's not punching its way into a wine fridge. So like that's
Oh, well, yeah, no. Yeah. I agree with you there.
Yeah. All right. So I mean, before we exit, I have a real quick pick your poison for you gentlemen,
Ooh.
if you will.
Oh, I
If
would
you'll,
love that.
you know,
Yes, please.
Hit me with it.
Yeah.
come with me on this real quick. Here we go,
Sure.
gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Pick your poison. You get to own a vineyard. Congratulations. I know this is what we all want.
Fantastic.
What I want.
I mean, I'm with you now, man. You've sold me. I've changed my entire life mission for you. Here are your two choices. You make a modest living. You have a small vineyard that you are the complete creative owner of. You get to plant what you want, do what you want, and just make your wines. But you know, and life is okay. You're not making the big bucks, but you know, you're doing all right.
Okay.
Or
See where this
you
is
make a
going.
ton of money.
Yep.
You make a ton of money. You are a wine baron, but you have a giant, soulless, big brand, mass-produced wine monster vineyard.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a clarifying question on this? Very, very good question. Am I like, okay, if I take the small vineyard, full creativity, am I like, I'm not worrying about where my next meal is coming from, right? Like I'm doing okay.
I mean, you're
I'm
doing okay.
making a
You're
living.
running a small business.
Sure.
You're doing okay.
Yeah.
You're doing okay. But your alternative option is excessive wealth. It's private jet wealth. You are doing okay,
Wow.
or your private jet wealth. Okay,
Gosh.
that you're trading. You can do whatever you want. You can make your mix. You can make your mixes. You can do your little things. You know, you can get your blends.
Sure.
But you know, you're doing okay. Private jet.
Wow.
But you
That is
got to
tough.
make sure all your wines taste the same every year, no matter what. No one wants creativity from you, Joe. Shareholders aren't
Yeah.
interested.
Oh man, well that solidifies it. I'm not trying to answer to shareholders ever, but no, I'd have to go with the small one. The small, but you know, if I just the big wine brand is everything that I hate about wine. I couldn't imagine, yeah, you being the owner of that, even at the extreme wealth. Although a private jet does sound nice,
Tempting. Yeah.
but it is tempting. It is. I'm not gonna lie, it is tempting. But I still think I don't know. And maybe that's the wrong answer, but I'm going
There's no
small
wrong
wine
answer
brand.
on this hypothetical
I can
episode 84 question.
yeah. I wanna enjoy the wine I'm making and hope other people enjoy that wine, so I'm going small winery.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Joe.
You really got me thinking when you talked about the private jet and all of that. Okay, here's the thing. I'm going to say, oh, shoot. Okay, I'm going to go with small vineyard, full creativity.
Wow.
Yeah, but here's the reason. I really want that private jet. But if there's one thing I've learned, you know, the wine community is really cool, and
It's
being
true.
well respected in that community and being a part of it, I think would be a real dream. So I'm gonna go with living moderately, just making it, doing what I want with my wine, and being a part of that wine community, but barely, because a private jet sounds awesome.
Guys,
Aaron,
I mean, thank you. Absolutely beautiful answers. I hope that when we edit this episode, we switch things around so we end with you two. So we're ending on this positive,
He's taking the jet.
thoughtful. I'm taking the
taking-
money. I'm
taking the
taking the money.
I don't blame you at all.
No, neither do I.
I'm gonna show up at all these wine events acting like my wine is the best wine on the planet and just really swirling my boxed wine and, getting into it and then getting on my private jet and leaving. I'm sorry. That's what I'm at.
No,
In
don't
this
be
very
sorry.
hypothetical situation.
I'm not even mad at
Do you know
about
what?
that. I'm
This
not
is
even mad about
actually
that.
perfect. This is actually perfect because you can take that and then fly to pick me and Colin up at our measly little whatever
Absolutely.
vineyards, and we can go hang out, do whatever, and then you can drop us off and go back to.
You can share your
wherever you were
wines with
going.
me, and I'll very secretly tell the two of you that your wines are much better than my wine, but that if you tell anybody, I will sue you into the ground.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's how.
And we
so
would
that's-
not do that because you have high-priced lawyers with their own private jets, and we don't want to go up against that. We
That's right.
live,
Good.
very normally. Yeah.
We're all good. I'm glad we're the understanding here. Good.
Love it. That was good.
Good.
That was a good
All right.
setup
That
right
was
there.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. As a reminder, Colin, what do we drink today?
Oh, sure. The drinking
Where
a
am I?
red wine from Bordeaux. This is the Lamothe-Vincent Bordeaux Reserve from 2022.
Awesome. You can grab this quite a few places, honestly. Is at Total Wine, at a lot of big box wine shops. $12, not a waste of your wine. Joel thinks you should base your life around this. In general, we think.
Do I?
Do I?
I don't think he's that in love with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, hold on. Let me listen to what
See,
you're
no.
about to say. See if I
Bit of a
approve.
stretch.
No,
Go
give it a
on.
shot. Let us know what you think. We would love to know where you stand on this. Otherwise, we would love to communicate with you in lots of different places, which Joel is going to tell you about right now.
Listen, it's not hard. Let me list the places. Ready? This is in priority order. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. That's pretty much it. Go to these places. Check out our website, stopwastingyourwine.com. And listen, wherever you are, if you're listening to us on Spotify, on the YouTubes, some Apple, whatever it is, if you haven't liked us, please do. Tell a friend. We'd love to have them come along. And also, if you do reach out to us on the Instagrams, just let us know. If you have a wine you want us to try, if you have a good Pinot or Chardonnay, a good pick your poison, whatever, we would love to feature it on the show. So please reach out. We'd love to hear from you.
Well done, Joel. Well done. All right, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. New episodes every Tuesday. Until then, bye, y'all.
And remember, stop wasting your wine.
Bye.